Hey everybody, I'm Cheryl Swift, Duchess of Rock and Roll. I'm here tonight at the Old Rock House with Chris Hennessee.
Hey guys.
How are you?
All right, doing great.
I heard you had a pretty good afternoon.
I did, and it's not even over yet. We're still rocking. We went to a baseball game, caught about 3-4 innings, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, Rockies and the Cardinals.
Yeah, did you know we won?
I did not know. No.
Walk off home run apparently in
really?
the game. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sound check, man.
I know, sound check.
It messes things up, doesn't it?
It was 2-1 when I left, but
we ended up
stadium.
winning.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chris is here tonight at the Old Rock House in St. Louis, doing a show with Jamey Johnson.
Jamey Johnson, yeah, Sonny Sweeney, Ward Davis,
and then Tennessee Jet.
Yeah. Oh, so I didn't know
Tennessee Jet is doing the after party.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Surprise!
Right on. Cool.
This interview won't air for a few days, so no, it won't matter. Like people can't run down here and ticket or anything.
I got you.
So Chris and I were talking. I actually didn't. I think I might have met you briefly, but I was at Kendell Marvel's experience at the Exit Inn last fall in October, and I came because Chris Shiflett was going to be there, and you walked out.
Yeah.
And Arlo walked out, and Melonie walked out, and then it was a who's who of Nashville that night.
Those things have tended to be that way. The honky tonk experience. We've had all kinds of guest appearances between Alison and Jamey, and then Shiflett, and there's just been a ton of people show up for those.
Right,
things.
and Rami from the Foo Fighters was there too. Yeah, everybody. It just kept getting more and more crazy, and then Ray Scott was there, and I was like, "This is the best night ever."
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
More people should be there.
Yeah,
I think that September 11th one, I might have to actually come early because it's Americana week.
Oh,
so
it is. Yeah, right.
I think, and then Cody Jinks plays on Saturday night. So anyway, we were there in Nashville. That was a great experience. So you're friends with Kendell Marvel, all those guys that are there.
Oh yeah. Big buddies with Kendell and Ray, and I forget who all was down there that night, but there was a pretty good crowd. That's Arlo.
That's Arlo, in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
He's always got something to say.
Yeah.
That's actually the night I met Arlo, because he had on a Flocker t-shirt, and I go, "I'm sorry, I don't know you."
I'm so sorry about that. Life will never be the same
It
again.
won't. Now I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have introduced myself. But anyway, that night, I love the camaraderie between you and your friends, and it really shows through on your new album.
Oh, yeah.
You have so many great co-writes. Can you tell a few stories? I mean, Alison Kraus is on there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how some of those co-writes came to be.
Well, I didn't co-write with Alison.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But she did come and sit in and sing on the title track, which is Ramble, and she played fiddle on it. And actually, one of the songs that's on there is a Foo Fighters song, which you know that.
I do.
She's a little bit of a Foo Fighters fan. And I've always loved that song, but I intentionally wanted to record it because I was hoping to get Alison on that one. And then once we got in the studio and started working on it, it was in the wrong key for her. But she ended up doing Ramble and singing and playing fiddle on that. And then, of course, Jamey's on the single that's out right now.
Right.
Wrong End of the Rainbow. And he just was kind enough to come in and do a few passes on vocals.
It sounds so great. I mean, the album, I'm mesmerized by how good the album is. Not that I wasn't expecting to be mesmerized, but there's so many different flavors, I guess you could say. It's not one singular flavor, and you can hear a lot of the influences on you, and then there's a lot of special guests, like your friends who were with Wild Feathers.
Wild Feathers, yeah.
Did they co-write, or did they just sing on that song?
No, I did co-write that song with them. We were actually writing some songs thinking about their record, and a lot of times I'll come up with song ideas on the bus driving.
Right.
Know? And I came up with that idea just driving down the interstate one night, got with them and wrote it, and I liked it, so I ended up putting it on my record.
Yes.
So, and then they're singing on it, so
yes.
It worked out
I
really
love
good.
the Wild Feathers.
Yeah, they're great.
They toured. Daniel Donato was with them.
Yeah, that's right.
And I just interviewed Daniel Friday night in Chicago because he opened for Chris Shiflett because they're now friends.
Oh, cool. Well, Daniel's
that kid.
He's unbelievable.
I'm not kidding. I've never seen anybody like and he's only 23.
Yeah, he's great.
He's a baby.
Yeah.
So the other thing, segueing away from the album a little bit, but still connected, is there's a huge amount of faith and spirituality in your songs, in your writing. The little Jesus Loves Me by, is that your son, your oldest son?
That's Hayes, yeah.
Is he named after Hayes Carl?
No, he's not.
Okay, I just wondered. I was like, I didn't know.
No, it's a family name.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's where that came from. But I'm a big Hayes Carl fan.
Right,
so,
right.
You know,
I just thought that'd be cool.
That's a plus.
Yes.
But yeah, Hayes is on that, and it would have been both Hayes and Gus, but Gus was not. I don't think he was speaking yet when we recorded that. So
because Gus is the little one, right?
He's 3 now.
Yeah, he that would have been adorable, but I don't know if he's ready for the studio.
He
right?
is now.
Oh, okay.
But
How old is Hayes?
He's 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're just adorable. I saw them on your Instagram today.
Oh yeah, they're great.
They're cute little guys. So let's talk a little bit about. I mean, you're on tour with who would be considered one of the biggest outlaw country artists maybe in this generation. And then you have all the spirituality. So how does that factor in your life? Like, is there a dichotomy there for you?
Yeah, so it doesn't... I try to not just let it be a factor in life.
Right.
I try to let it be life.
Right.
And it's not just spirituality. There's all kinds of forms of spirituality.
Right.
For me, it's Christianity,
Yes.
It's Jesus. And that's the basis and the home base for everything I try to do now. Everybody comes up short with everything, but that's why it factors into my music so much, is because it's the biggest factor in my life,
Yes.
So anyways, I don't know if that answers your question or not, but
I was trying to have the question be broad sweeping so you could answer it how you...
Well, and then as far as how does it fit into outlaw, and I get what you're saying, I think, if that's what you're saying, but I guess you could argue that Jesus was like
the biggest outlaw
ever.
I agree.
So
I just wanted to see how you would answer the question. I love it because you look at Jessie Coulter, who may be the most spiritual, God-centered, soaked woman in music, or one of the top 5.
Yeah.
I mean, the woman mesmerizes me.
Oh yeah, she's great.
So you look at that. I just think it's great that you're willing to. I guess where I'm going is that you're willing to say it, sing it, and be about it.
Well,
that's where I was going.
I decided a long time ago. I spent a lot of time in music on Music Row and playing the game, and trying to do all the things you're supposed to try to do. And when I got the opportunity to play with Jamey and do the stuff with him, all the shows and recording and make records, and it's kind of off of his platform, and I realized that 100%. And I thought, man, I am getting a second chance, because I didn't have another alleyway in Nashville. I mean, everything was pretty much shut off to me.
Right.
And he was the guy that gave me the chance. And I decided a couple of records ago I was going to really focus on God and at least have some kind of a theme in the records, that fall back onto my gospel upbringing and if I get an opportunity in a microphone or in front of a camera to say his name.
Yes.
That's the idea.
I get it.
Yeah.
I just think I love it, and I wanted to ask you about it because it's the album. There's very, very much talk of God and spirituality, and so anyway, I just wanted to ask about that.
I'm glad you did.
And then on the song, it's is it? Oh my gosh, I just had it brain warble. Anyway, there's a song where you're talking about writing. It's the lead. It's the title track, right? Ramble, where you're talking about writing. Yeah. Are you a big motorcycle rider?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know the story or not, but
I guess I don't. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know this story. Bad interviewer.
Well, no, there's no reason why you should. I had a motorcycle. I had an old Harley, and I rode a lot. And then I started having children. Well, my wife and I had children. And so I thought it's a good time to get rid of it, and I kind of was in between jobs, so to speak, and I needed to get rid of it. So I told Jamey one day that I need to get rid of it. He goes, well, I'll buy it. I said, oh, okay, you sure? I mean, he already had 2 or 3, and so I sold it to Jamey. So he kept it for 5 years, I think, 5 or 6 years. And then on my birthday last year in South Dakota.
Oh, I know I know now what you're going to say.
Right in the middle of a song. Now, he comes riding on the stage and gets off of it and says, happy birthday, and walks off. And so he gave it back to me. So yes, to answer your question, I do have a motorcycle.
That's real. I actually have read that story. I just wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy day.
Understood.
Well, that's really great. But do you think about it more about being careful with those two little lovely youngins at home?
It's hard.
It's a little different, isn't it?
It's hard to enjoy riding now because every car is going to pull out in front of me, every time.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I know that when my brother had his son, his bike went away.
Yeah.
He just couldn't do it.
I still ride, though.
Yes.
I really love it, so I still get out and ride. But
Well, I think, like in your songs, like you were talking about, for me, and I don't know if this is true for you, like some people who have motorcycles, I'm terrified of motorcycles because I don't want to drive one myself, and I don't like being the passenger because I don't have control. But one of the things they talk about is being able to lose themselves out on the road. And for me, a music fan, one of the only times I lose myself is when I'm at a concert with live music, because then the only thing I'm present to is the music.
I get that.
Which then leads me to believe that music brings you closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
Because music, after all, is preparation for prayer. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's a spiritual experience to be a fan, being lost in it.
Yeah.
So as the musician, is it spiritual for you up there? Or are you just in the moment being the musician?
It just depends. It depends on where you're playing, for whom you're playing,
yes,
who you're playing with. It just depends on the moment,
Right.
And that's the great thing about music, and it's probably one reason that we all get so addicted to it, is that it has moments where you can't find that thing in anything else in life, or at least I haven't been able to. I mean,
right.
Maybe hitting a home run, it's
right,
kind of like that.
Right, and I don't live in that world.
And it happens from time to time, and that's the thing,
Right. So. And I just think it's interesting, like when you believe in God and in Jesus and those things, what that experience is like. So that's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
So the album is out. Mm-hmm. Let's tell people about where they can find it and where they can find your information.
Yeah. Online, ChrisHennessee.com is going to direct you to
everything.
Wherever it is that you need to go. But it's on sale. Of course, streaming, and then which is kind of the thing. Now. But you can go to iTunes, Apple Music, and Amazon's a lot of different places that you can get it. But you can also get it online. You can go and order it through my shop,
right.
And I'll sign a copy and send it to you, and so on and so forth.
Signed copy.
Yeah. But,
that's awesome.
And then, of course, the shows,
Right.
So.
And are you doing one-off shows when you're not on tour with Jamey for the new album, promoting like yourself?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
I've got a show on August 11th at my old hometown in Decatur, Tennessee. That's on August 11th. And then on the 25th, I've got one in Athens, Tennessee, which is pretty close to where I grew up, too.
Yes.
So it'll be good.
Well, that's awesome.
I had a real big deal worked out. I was going to have all of my records on sale in Kmart, and we had a real good thing going with Kmart. And then they closed every Kmart in the country.
Man.
So I'm working with Toys R Us now.
I got bad news for you, brother. Should I tell him?
No, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Story of my music career.
I think so many of my friends, that's the story. I had the deal worked out. And
I
then,
had a few record deals in the past, for sure.
I know that story.
Yeah.
I worked with, trust me.
Yeah.
I know that story. Well, I'm just thrilled to actually finally meet you in person. I'm thrilled that you accepted the idea for the interview.
Pleasure. My pleasure.
I'm really looking forward to the show tonight. This will be, I think, my 4th or 5th time seeing you play. Mm-hmm. Like I said, individually, and then with Jamey.
Yeah.
I saw Jamey a lot last summer. That Cody.
Oh, yeah.
Good old. My favorite photo recently is you're standing next to Cody, and Cody has the Hennessee shirt on, and you have the Cody Jinx shirt on.
I love that. Yeah.
That is a good photo. Y'all played together recently.
Yeah, we were in Mississippi.
Yeah. That's right.
And he came walking out with it, and we were like, oh. He wore it well. He looks good.
He looks good in it. Yeah, Cody likes his T-shirts, man. Yeah. He's like me. Like I have like 1,000 black T-shirts, and then I try to pick people who know people if I'm interviewing someone. So this is a shout out to Cody today.
Yeah, that looks good. I like that.
This is the new one. So anyway, well, thank you so much for taking your time to meet with me today.